Hi, second grade. Today we get to start a new book today called Mirette on the High Wire. We're going to be working on this book all week, but the first 2 days we're just going to do a read aloud. We're going to enjoy the story. The only assignment that you're going to have for the first 2 days is doing a quick check for understanding at the end. So we're going to jump into Mirette on the High Wire today. Mirette on the High Wire by Emily Arnold McCauley. Before we jump into this story, I wanted to show you 2 words that are going to come up. First of all, this story takes place in Paris, which is a city in the country of France. It is right over here on the map. And then Paris, you might recognize if you've ever seen a picture of the Eiffel Tower. So this is a picture of the city of Paris. It's very beautiful there, and it is on the continent of Europe, which I know we've been learning about continents a little bit in science and social studies. So hopefully that helps you kind of picture where the story is taking place. Another word that's going to come up in this text is the word monsieur. Monsieur is like Mr. in French. So because the story takes place in Paris, there's going to be a couple French words in there. This word monsieur is going to come up quite a bit, but I want you to know that it just means the same thing as Mr. does in English. So we're going to start reading the story. 100 years ago in Paris, when theaters and music halls drew traveling players from all over the world, the best place to stay was at the widow Jatou's boarding house on English Street. Acrobats, jugglers, actors, and minds from as far away as Moscow and New York reclined on the widow's feather mattresses and devoured her kidney stews. Madame Jatou worked hard to make her guests comfortable, and so did her daughter Mirette. The girl was an expert at washing linens, chopping leeks, paring potatoes, and mopping floors. She was a good listener, too. Nothing pleased her more than to overhear the vagabond players tell of their adventures in this town and along the road. One evening, a tall, sad-faced stranger arrived. He told Madame Jatou he was Bellini, a retired high-wire walker. "I am here for a rest," he said. "I have just the room for you, Monsieur Bellini. In the back, where it's quiet," she said, "but it's on the ground floor with no views." "Perfect," said the stranger. "I will take my meals alone." The next afternoon, when Mirette came from the sheets, there was the stranger crossing the courtyard on air. Mirette was enchanted. Of all the things a person could do, this must be the most magical. Her feet tingled as if they wanted to jump up on the wire beside Bellini. Mirette worked up the courage to speak. "Excuse me, Monsieur Bellini. I want to learn to do that," she cried. Bellini sighed. "That would not be a good idea," he said. "Once you start, your feet are never happy again on the ground." "Oh, please teach me," Mirette begged. "My feet are already unhappy on the ground." But he shook his head. Mirette watched him every day. He would slide his feet onto the wire, cast his eyes ahead, and cross without ever looking down, as if in a trance. Finally, she couldn't resist any longer. When Bellini was gone, she jumped up on the wire to try it herself. Her arms flailed like windmills. In a moment, she was back on the ground. Bellini made it look so easily. Surely she could do it too if she kept trying. In 10 tries, she balanced on one foot for a few seconds. In a day, she managed 3 steps without wavering. Finally, after a week of many, many falls, she walked the length of the wire. She couldn't wait to show Bellini. He was silent for a long time. Then he said, "In the beginning, everyone falls. Most give up, but you kept trying. Perhaps you have talent as well." "Oh, thank you," said Mirette. She got up 2 hours earlier every day to finish her chores before the sun shone in the courtyard. The rest of the day was for lessons and practice. Bellini was a strict master. "Never let your eyes stray," he told her day after day. "Think only of the wire and of crossing to the end." When she could cross dozens of times without falling, he taught her the wire walker's salute. Then she learned to run, to lie down, and to turn a somersault. "I will never, ever fall again," Mirette shouted. "Do not boast," Bellini said, so sharply that Mirette lost her balance and had to jump down. That's where we're going to stop for today. Tomorrow, we will finish the story of Mirette on the High Wire. Now that we're done reading the story, you need to go into your classwork for today and complete this quick check for understanding, just to check your comprehension to make sure that you understand what you read. If any of the questions on this little quiz are challenging for you, I would recommend going back and re-listening to the story.